The quiet buzz of whispers fills the courtroom as the judge's gavel rings out, demanding quiet. Cameras are prohibited inside, but if there were any, the world would see a family torn apart by years of hurt, pride, and secrets. Christine Brown sits at the plaintiff's table, hands folded tightly across her lap, pale knuckles stark against the dark wood. On the opposing side, Cody Brown, the man she used to refer to as her husband, now her adversary. His face impassive, but his eyes seethe with frustration and incredulity. Robyn sits directly behind him, holding her purse as if it were a shield. Her eyes are fixed on Christine, not with hatred, but with something more akin to fear. Mary and Janelle sit on either side of the aisle, not as friends, but as witnesses to the destruction of all they once thought they knew. The judge clears his throat. The atmosphere is thick, as if everyone is holding their breath for a storm about to erupt. Christine's attorney, a composed yet incisive woman named Laura Hayes, rises. "Your Honor," she starts, "this case is not about money or property. It's about betrayal, emotional abuse, and the right to live without control." Cody leans forward in his seat, jaw clenched. He growls something under his breath, something only Robyn can catch. Her hand rises to rest on his arm, but he brushes her off. The imaginal camera zooms in. This is not a courtroom. It's the battlefield of decades of silence. Christine blinks her eyes shut for an instant, recalling the early years, when it all was a dream. A large house, lots of children, laughter resounding through the house. She yearned for liberty and faith, unconditional love. But what she received was something more sinister, something that gradually asphyxiated her spirit. Laura calls Christine onto the stand. The court creaks as she moves down. She takes her oath in a firm voice but shaky hands. Cody doesn't look at her. For the first time in years, she's in charge. "Mrs. Brown," the attorney says gently, "please tell the court why you brought this case." Christine inhales deeply. "Because I used to think love equaled obedience. That if I prayed enough, sacrificed enough, I could repair everything. But I was mistaken. I lost myself in a marriage that allowed for only one person's joy." A subdued gasp stirs the crowd. Even the judge glances up from his papers. Christine's voice swells with each phrase. "It wasn't neglect, it was manipulation. Emotional manipulation. And when I finally worked up the courage to leave him, he attempted to take everything that I cared about. My children. My dignity." Cody bangs his pen on the table, refusing to be quiet. "That's a lie," he erupts. "You abandoned this family. You quit." The judge holds up a hand. "Mr. Brown, you'll get your say." Robyn's eyes brim with tears as she breathes softly. "Cody, please." But he does not glance at her. The gentle buzzing of whispers swells in the courtroom as the judge's gavel rings out, demanding silence. Cameras are forbidden within, but were there cameras, the world would witness a family split apart by years of secrets, pride, and pain. Christine Brown occupies the plaintiff's table, her hands clasped tightly in her lap, knuckles white on dark wood. Across from her, Cody Brown, the man she once referred to as husband, now adversary. His face is inscrutable, but his eyes blaze with frustration and incredulity. Robyn sits just behind him, hugging her purse as if it's a shield. She keeps her eyes on Christine, not with hate, but with something more like fear. Mary and Janelle sit on the opposite sides of the aisle, not as friends, but as observers to the destruction of everything they used to believe. The judge clears his throat. The air is thick, as if everyone is holding their breath waiting for a storm that's about to break. Christine's attorney, a composed but intelligent woman named Laura Hayes, rises. "Your Honor," she starts, "this case isn't about property or money. It's about control, betrayal, and emotional abuse, and the right to live without." Cody shifts uncomfortably in his seat, jaw clenched. Under his breath, he says something Robyn is able to hear. She reaches out and places her hand on his arm, but it's pushed away. The camera of the imagination zooms in. This isn't a courtroom. It's the battlefield for decades of silence. But sometimes, silence screams louder than words. Christine shuts her eyes for a second, recalling the early years, when it all seemed like a dream. A large house, lots of kids, the sound of laughter ringing down the halls. She craved freedom and faith, love unencumbered. But what she received was something else, something that gradually stifled her spirit. Laura calls Christine to the witness stand. The courtroom groans under her footsteps. She stands and swears with a firm voice but shaking hands. Cody refuses to look at her. She's in charge, as she hasn't been in years. Mrs. Brown, the attorney speaks gently. Could you explain to the court why you brought this case? Christine draws a deep breath. Because I wasted so many years thinking that love equaled submission, that if I gave enough, prayed enough, I could make things right. But I was mistaken. I lost myself in a marriage where there was only space for one person to be happy. A stifled gasp runs through the courtroom. Even the judge glances up from his notebook. Christine's voice swells with increasing power with each sentence. It wasn't neglect. It was control, manipulation, emotional. And when I finally worked up the strength to escape, he attempted to remove everything that was important to me. My children, my self-respect. Cody bangs his pen on the table, not able to be silent. That's not true, he explodes. You left this family. You walked away. The judge holds up a hand. Mr. Brown, you'll have your say. Robyn's eyes well with tears as she pleads softly. Cody, please. But he won't glance at her. When pride thunders louder than truth, hearts are the first to break. Christine blinks hard. I didn't leave my family. I left pain. Being treated like a stranger in my own home. Her lawyer smiles, pleased. And when you did leave, Laura asks, what ensued? Christine's face grows stern. He refused to speak to the children. He made them feel bad for loving me. He said loyalty was taking sides. The room grows cold with tension. Cody stares at the table, his knuckles white. Behind him, Robyn's lips tremble, but she stays quiet. Janelle looks down, fighting back tears. Mary glances toward the exit. She's seen this before. The control, the gaslighting, the guilt. The attorney makes her way to the jury box, although there is no jury present, only the judge. Your Honor, she announces, we will bring forward messages, recordings, and money evidence detailing how Mr. Brown exploited emotional and monetary manipulation to punish Christine for departing. Christine's heart racing. This is what she has feared, the moment that private turns public. All the secrets, all the messages, all the midnights turned argument now converted to evidence. The bailiff carries a folder to the judge. Inside are screenshots, words once whispered in anger, now immortalized in ink. Exhibit A, the lawyer says, shows a message Mr. Brown sent to Ms. Brown 2 weeks after separation. She reads aloud, You've destroyed this family. Don't expect help when you're the reason it's broken. Cody glances away. The courtroom is quiet. Christine breathes slowly. Those words lingered. I didn't lose a husband. I lost a home, a father to my children, and a place of belonging. The judge nods, scribbling on a pad of notes. We'll examine the exhibits, he says. We'll proceed with testimony. But before the gavel can come down, Cody's attorney rises. Your Honor, she begins, my client does deny these accusations. He feels that this is a case of revenge, not justice. Christine glances at Cody. Revenge? She whispers. No, it's about truth. The courtroom erupts once more, whispers swirling like smoke. Order is called by the judge. Outside, journalists queue behind courthouse gates, cameras at the ready for their headlines. Inside, history unfolds between two individuals who once exchanged vows of eternal love. Christine's attorney sits next to her. You did fine, she tells her softly. But Christine is uncertain. Her hands are chilled. Her gaze seeks out her children's faces in the back pew. They're frightened, bewildered, trapped between two worlds. Cody finally looks up. For a brief second, their eyes meet. There's no love left, only exhaustion. He mouths something Christine can't quite hear, but she knows what it is. You'll regret this. As the judge dismisses the court for recess, the atmosphere shifts. Robyn rushes to Cody's side, whispering frantically. Mary and Janelle remain seated, their expressions unreadable. She moves slowly through the hall, the burden of years settled on her shoulders. The world beyond is louder, brighter, somehow not real. She has to sit on the wall and close her eyes. A reporter yells out, "Christine, have you any comment on today's hearing?" She hesitates, considering all that she has already lived through, all that is yet to pass. "No," she answers softly. "Not yet." The door creaks open once more and Cody emerges, his face hot with rage. He doesn't say anything to her. He pushes past, flashes popping, Robyn close behind. Janelle pauses for a moment. "You all right?" she asks gently. Christine gives a nod, but there is a film of tears in her eyes. "I don't know, but everyone needs to know the truth." The camera dissolves to Christine standing in the courthouse hallway, solitary but unshattered, as murmurs resonate behind her. The morning of the next day, the steps of the courthouse hum with electricity. Cameras snap, reporters yell out names, and Christine emerges forward with her attorney. The air is crisp and biting, but she's somehow at peace, like a storm that has already swept over her once and now only rains on the people still taking cover from it. Inside the courthouse, the courtroom is packed again, every seat occupied. The whispers are more hushed now. Everyone feels like something big is about to happen today. Cody appears a few minutes later, in a dark suit, jaw clenched in determination. Robyn follows him, her hand on his arm, but he doesn't notice. He glances around the room, then meets Christine's eyes. For an instant, the years disappear between them, every memory, every promise, but reality reasserts itself. He sits down, eyes unforgiving. The judge takes his seat. "Court is in session," he says firmly. "We will continue testimony in the case of Brown versus Brown." Christine's lawyer, Laura, stands again, her expression calm but focused. "Your Honor, today we'll be introducing new evidence. Recordings that shed light on the emotional manipulation our client endured during the final year of her marriage." Cody's lawyer immediately rises. "Objection. These are private conversations taken out of context." The judge nods. "Objection noted. We'll hear it first, then decide on relevance." Christine gazes down, fingers clutching the chair. She recalls that evening before she recorded that conversation. Not from spite, but from survival. She needed evidence. Laura clicks play. The courtroom is filled with a man's voice, Cody's, cold and angry. "You think walking out makes you stronger? You'll see how strong you are when you have nothing." There is a gasp from the audience. Cody's face flushes. Robyn takes his hand, but he pulls away. The tape keeps going. Christine's voice is smaller, begging, "I'm not trying to ruin you." "Cody, I need to be at peace." Then his response, cutting as glass. "Peace doesn't come to betrayers of family." The tape is silenced. Quiet. Christine slowly glances up. Her eyes shine, yet her voice remains firm. "That was when I realized I couldn't repair it anymore," she says. "I was attempting to justify my pain, but he only viewed rebellion." The judge makes some marks. Cody's attorney rises again, her words strained. "Your Honor, my client apologizes for those sentiments. He was upset. This case is being blown out of proportion for sympathy." Laura advances toward the bench. "Sympathy? No, Your Honor, this isn't about feeling, it's about patterns. Years of control, masquerading as faith." Cody finally responds. "Control? That's what she refers to as family leadership these days? I gave everything to maintain this family." Christine holds his gaze. "You gave everything, as long as it served you." The tension is electric. Even the court stenographer hesitates, her fingers hovering over the keys. The judge clears his throat. "Mr. Brown, you'll have your chance to testify. Let's stay focused." Cody sits back, shaking his head. "You'll regret this, Christine," he mutters, just loud enough for her to hear. She breathes back. "I already did." Laura presents further evidence, accounting statements of secret withdrawals and unauthorized transfers. Christine's eyes go wide. She hadn't even known this existed. Laura speaks softly. "We followed accounts Robyn created soon after you asked for separation. Money directly came from common family accounts." Robyn bristles. "That's not true," she whispers. But Laura keeps going. "Your Honor, these transfers add up to almost $70,000. Our belief is that these were efforts to hide assets prior to the divorce." Cody's attorney leaps to her feet once more. "Objection. Those accounts were utilized for family purposes." "Then why?" Laura demands curtly. Were they titled under Robyn's maiden name? The room breaks out with murmurs. Robyn's face goes white. The judge raps for order, gavel striking. Christine looks at Robyn. All anger is gone. There remains only confusion. "You knew?" she asks softly. Robyn says nothing. Her lips quiver. Cody pushes closer to her, muttering something intense and low. She nods, tears welling in her eyes. The judge looks down at the evidence once more. "We shall require complete documentation of these deals," he states. This court does not look kindly upon deceit. The silence is like having the air punched out of the room. Cody's shoulders tense, his self-assurance shattering. He stares at Christine as if she has committed the ultimate betrayal. But Christine doesn't blink. She realizes now this isn't just about her freedom. It's about truth for everybody who remained too quiet for too long. Back in the courtroom, Janelle dabs at a tear. She'd wondered for months that something wasn't right. But being witness to it laid out like this is something different. Mary huddles into her and speaks under her breath. It was never about love for him. It was about control. At a brief recess, Christine emerges into the hallway, her heart thudding. Journalists cluster, calling out questions. "Christine, is it true Cody stashed money? Are you asking for sole custody?" Laura shelters her. "No comment now." From down the hall, Robyn steps out nervously. Her voice trembles. "Christine, please, don't do this to him." Christine spins around, eyes blazing. "Do this to him? Robyn, he did this to us." Robyn's head shakes. "You don't get it. He's lost everything." Christine takes a breath. "No, Robyn, he's losing control. That's not the same thing." Their eyes meet for a long time before Robyn turns and walks away, tears streaming down her face. When the court again opens, things are even more tense. Cody is on the stand, his attorney by his side. He tugs at his tie, his voice calculated but icy. "I never wanted to hurt Christine. She wanted to leave. I released her. But this notion that I controlled her, it is simply not true. I was attempting to preserve our faith, our values, our family." Laura folds her arms. "By threatening her? By taking away her children?" "I didn't threaten anyone," Cody barks. "I was trying to salvage what we created." "You people turn everything around," Christine observes silently. "The man on that platform isn't the husband she used to know. He's someone who's rewritten the narrative so many times he's begun believing it." Laura approaches. "Then tell us these messages, Mr. Brown." She brandishes another paper. "You informed your son that his mother had turned against the family and that loyalty was about choosing sides. How is that not manipulation?" Cody pauses. His lips pucker, then shut. "They needed to know the truth," he says at last. "Or your version of it?" Laura asks. Cody's jaw clenches. He glares at Christine. "You destroyed this family, Christine. You and your bitterness. I gave you everything." Her tone is soft but sharp. "You gave me stipulations. You gave me do's and don'ts. But you never gave me love." The judge puts up a hand. "Stop. This court will not be conducted as a yelling session." The room becomes quiet once more. For an eternity, no one stirs. The judge exhales. "We're adjourning for today. Testimony will resume tomorrow. I require complete financial disclosure from both sides prior." He pounds the gavel. The sound resonates like a heartbeat. Cody rises slowly, his expression impassive. He looks toward Robyn, then toward the door. Christine remains seated, taking deep breaths. Mary and Janelle are standing stock still, their faces a mixture of loss and gratitude. As Christine finally stands, Laura leans in and breathes. "We're winning this." Christine is shaking her head. "No, nobody wins when a family falls apart. But perhaps we can stop pretending it's whole." She exits the courtroom, the murmurs behind her dying away into a far-off buzz. Outside, the sky darkens, clouds building like the feelings she's suppressed for years. She breathes deeply, glances back at the courthouse, and mutters under her breath, "Tomorrow, it all comes out." The storm that had brewed outside the courthouse the day before finally unleashes. Rain pours in thin, silver lines, tracing down the high glass windows as Christine stands in the lobby, anticipating the bailiff to call them in. Her reflection on the glass appears older, weary, but resilient. Today is the day she's feared and prepared for. Inside, The courtroom is oppressive as ever. There are reporters covering every inch of room, the whispers soft and guarded. Today, the list of witnesses is altered. Today, a member of the family speaks. Christine walks to her table, the air thick with anticipation. Cody sits across from her, eyes fixed on the empty witness chair. Robyn's fingers twitch against her lap, her lips moving silently as if praying. Mary and Janelle are in the back again, but there's a nervous energy about them, like they know something no one else does. The judge enters. "We'll continue testimony. Ms. Hayes, your next witness?" Laura stands up. "Your Honor, the plaintiff requests Janelle Brown be called to the witness stand." Gasp waves through the courtroom. Cody's head whips toward Janelle, shock crossing his face. "You?" He growls under his breath. Janelle rises slowly, not meeting his eyes as she walks to the front. She takes the oath, voice firm but eyes shining. Christine observes her, feeling grateful as well as sad. Janelle was the quiet one, the one who always sought peace. For her to be there meant something had shifted deep within her. Laura starts. "Mrs. Brown, you've known both of these people for many years. Tell the court what you've seen about the dynamic between Mr. and Mrs. Brown." Janelle pauses. The courtroom holds its breath. "I saw Christine trying again and again to make it work," she starts quietly. "But it wasn't a partnership. It was one person dictating all the rules, and everyone else acting like it was equitable." Cody leans in. "Janelle, don't do this." She faces him. "You had your turn for years, Cody. Now let me have my turn." The judge slams his gavel. "Mr. Brown, calm down," Janelle goes on, voice shaking but steady. "We were all made to feel guilty if we challenged him. Christine most of all. If she demanded attention, he said she was selfish. If she demanded autonomy, he said she was rebellious. That wasn't leading. That was controlling." Robyn's face contorts in anguish. "That is not fair, Janelle. You know he was trying to hold the family together." Janelle looks at her. "Robyn, holding people together by fear isn't family, it's captivity." The audience gasps. Cody's attorney stands. "Objection, Your Honor. Emotional testimony." "Sustained," the judge says, although his face has a glimmer of sympathy. "Please confine yourselves to factual examples." Janelle nods. "Then here's a fact. Christine once came to me in tears after Cody would not eat dinner with her and the kids for 3 weeks. He said he was too disappointed in her for questioning his leadership." Christine closes her eyes. She hadn't known Janelle remembered that. Laura steps forward cautiously. "Did this pattern continue?" "Yes," Janelle continues. "It got worse. He began punishing love. If any of us stood up for Christine, he'd cut us off. That's why the family broke up. Not because Christine left, but because he couldn't control losing." Cody bangs his fist on the table. "You're twisting everything!" "I was trying to protect our way of life." The judge slams his gavel again. "Mr. Brown, another outburst and you'll be discharged from the courtroom." Cody leans back, panting, eyes blazing with anger. Janelle concludes her testimony, crying hard, tears streaming down her face. "I'm not here to ruin you, Cody. I'm here because we all deserve the truth. Particularly the kids," Laura nods. No further questions. Cody's attorney cross-examines, but the damage is done. Janelle's calm honesty speaks louder than any defense. When she exits, she passes by Christine and squeezes her hand. Christine realizes for the first time that she's not alone. The unexpected witness is Mary Brown. The courtroom tenses up once more. Cody's mouth falls slightly open. "Mary, not you too." Mary moves ahead slowly, her spine straight but her face white. She's been quiet for decades, always obedient, always reserved. But there's something about watching Janelle stand up that has gotten to her. Laura starts over. "Mrs. Brown, were you treated the same way in your marriage?" Mary inhales deeply. "Yes, but I accepted it. I said to myself that it was spiritual, that it was love, but it was control." "And Christine?" "She realized it sooner than I did." Christine blinks away tears. Mary goes on. "He said to me that questioning him was questioning God." That's how deep it was. "And when Christine finally left, he blamed her for the family breaking apart. But we were broken already." Robyn wipes her tears. "Stop repeating that. You're all rewriting history." Mary glances at her, her voice calm and biting. "No, Robyn. We're finally telling it." He judge clears his throat. "Mrs. Brown, Please describe any incident relevant to your case that you personally witnessed. There were lots, Mary says. But there's one. The evening Christine told him she was leaving. He laughed. He said no one would ever believe her, that she'd crawl back on her belly. I saw her face that night. That's when I knew she wasn't coming back, because finally she believed herself. Cody leans back in his chair, defeated momentarily. Then he sits up, his tone biting. You're all turning against me. You don't know what it's like to be responsible for a family this large. The judge interrupts him. Mr. Brown, you will be silent, or I will have you held in contempt. Cody's attorney leans over and says something in a hurry, but he shushes her. The courtroom hums again. The hearing goes on, Laura showing more messages, more recordings. Each one describes the same thing: control, silence, punishment. Each sentence erodes the picture Cody had spent decades cultivating. At lunchtime, the judge adjourns the hearing. The courtroom empties out into the hallway, whispers trailing like specters. Christine sits, her breathing slow. The weight of it all, the weight of Janelle's bravery, Mary's truthfulness, her own terror, bends her down. She looks at Cody. He seems smaller now in some way. Like the air around him has shifted. Robyn leans in close to him, speaking quietly. You can still make things right. Apologize. Let them see you care. He shakes his head, his eyes glassy. They turned on me. I gave them a life, and they turned on me. Christine stands hesitantly. Cody, she whispers. He glances up, shocked by the quality of her tone. This wasn't supposed to happen, she speaks. I didn't want to tear you apart. I just wanted you to see what you were doing. He doesn't answer. He lets his eyes wander to the window, where he observes the rain streaming down. When the afternoon session finally begins, the judge says closing arguments will be tomorrow. Everyone senses the gravity of what's to come. Christine exits the courtroom into rain. Janelle and Mary behind her, subdued, contemplative. Side by side, for the first time in decades, the three of them step out into the rain, not as sister wives, but as women who lived through something greater than themselves. Christine glances up at the gray sky and says softly, "It's almost over." Janelle softly responds, "No, it's just beginning." The storm that had brewed outside the courthouse yesterday finally bursts. Rain drops in thin silver lines, tracing down the tall glass windows as Christine waits in the lobby for the bailiff to usher them in. Her reflection in the glass appears older. She looks tired, but stronger. This is the day she's both dreading and ready for. Inside, the courtroom is more oppressive than ever. Reporters occupy every available seat, the whispers muted and guarded. Today the witness list is altered. Today a member of the family will testify. Christine walks to her table, the air thick with anticipation. Cody sits across from her, eyes fixed on the empty witness chair. Robyn's fingers twitch against her lap, her lips moving silently as if praying. Mary and Janelle are in the back again, but there's a nervous energy about them, like they know something no one else does. The judge enters. "We'll continue testimony. Ms. Hayes, your next witness." Laura stands. "Your Honor," the plaintiff calls Janelle Brown to the witness stand. Gasps spread throughout the courtroom. Cody's head jerks in the direction of Janelle, shock crossing his face. "You?" he says under his breath. Janelle rises slowly, not meeting his eye as she moves toward the front. She takes the oath, her voice firm but her eyes shining. Christine sits and observes her, a combination of thankfulness and regret. Janelle was the quiet one, the one who always sought to avoid conflict. For her to be standing here meant something had shifted way down within her. Laura starts. "Mrs. Brown, you've known both sides for many years. What have you seen about the dynamic between Mr. and Mrs. Brown?" Janelle pauses. The courtroom holds its breath. "I saw Christine attempt again and again to make it work," she starts quietly. "But it was never a partnership. It was one person creating all the rules, and everyone else going along with it as if it was even." Cody leans forward. "Janelle, don't do this," she faces him. "You had your say for years, Cody. Let me have mine." The judge pounds his gavel. "Mr. Brown, calm down," Janelle goes on, words shaking but unyielding. "We were all made to feel guilty if we challenged him. Christine most of all, if she demanded more attention, He said she was selfish. If she sought autonomy, he said she was rebellious. That wasn't leadership. That was domination. Robyn's face contorts in agony. That's not right, Janelle. You know he was trying to hold the family together. Janelle looks at her. Robyn, holding people together by terrorizing them isn't family. It's captivity. The audience gasps. Cody's attorney opens his mouth to rise. Objection, Your Honor, emotional testimony. Sustained, says the judge, though his face reveals a flicker of sympathy. Please confine yourselves to factual illustrations. Janelle nods. Then here's a fact. Christine once came to me in tears after Cody refused to eat dinner with her and the kids for 3 weeks. He told her he was too disappointed in her for questioning his leadership. Christine closes her eyes. She hadn't known Janelle recalled that. Laura approaches softly. Did this pattern continue? Yes, Janelle affirms. It worsened. He began punishing Love. If any of us stood up for Christine, he'd cut us off. That's why the family dissolved. Not because Christine left, but because he could not stand losing control. Cody bangs his hand on the table. You're distorting everything! I was protecting our way of life. The judge slams the gavel again. Mr. Brown, one more break and you're out of here. Cody leans back, gasping for breath, eyes blazing with anger. Janelle completes her testimony, sobbing openly. I don't come here to break you, Cody. I come because we all need the truth. Especially the children, Laura nods. No further questions. Cody's attorney cross-examines, but the harm is already done. Janelle's serene honesty is more convincing than any alibi. As she leaves the stand, she goes past Christine and squeezes her hand. For the first time, Christine doesn't feel she's by herself. The surprise witness is Mary Brown. The courtroom tenses up once more. Cody's lips fall open in shock. Mary, not you too. Mary ambles forward slowly, standing upright but her face ashy. She's been quiet for decades, always faithful, always silent. But something about watching Janelle speak up has altered her. Laura starts again. Mrs. Brown, did you have similar treatment in your marriage? Mary draws a deep breath. Yes, but I accepted it. I told myself that it was spiritual, that it was love, but it was control. And Christine, she knew about it before I did. Christine drops her gaze, tears welling up. Mary continues. He told me that questioning him equaled questioning God. That's how deep it went. And when Christine finally left, he blamed her for the family breaking apart. But we were already broken. Robyn blinks away her tears. Stop saying that. You're all rewriting history. Mary faces her, tone even but biting. No, Robyn, we're finally telling it. The judge clears his throat. Mrs. Brown, please describe any relevant incident you directly witnessed. Many, says Mary. But one in particular, the evening Christine announced that she was leaving. He laughed. He said no one would ever believe her, that she'd be crawling back. I saw her face the night she realized she wasn't coming back, because she finally believed herself. Cody leans back in his chair, defeated momentarily. Then he sits up straight, his tone acidic. You're all turning on me. You don't know what it's like to bear the burden of a family this large. The judge interrupts. Mr. Brown, you will be silent, or I will hold you in contempt. Cody's attorney mouths a word in secret, but he discourages her. The courtroom hums again. The hearing drags on, and Laura shows more messages, more recordings. They all tell the same story: control, silence, punishment. With every sentence, they chip away at the picture Cody worked so long to create. At noon, the judge orders a recess. The crowd empties out into the hallway, whispers shadowing along behind it. Christine remains still, breathing slowly. The weight of it all, of Janelle's bravery, Mary's integrity, her own terror, crushes her. She looks at Cody. He's smaller now somehow, as if the air around him has shifted. Robyn peers close to him, talking softly. You can still make this right. Apologize. Let them see that you care. He shakes his head, eyes glassy. They turned against me. I built them a life, and they turned against me. Christine rises slowly. Cody, she whispers. He glances up, taken aback by the quality of her tone. This wasn't meant to be, she says. I didn't want to ruin you. I just wanted to show you what you were doing. He says nothing. His eyes wander to the window, observing the rain running down. As the afternoon session starts, the judge is saying that closing arguments will be tomorrow. Everyone is aware of what's to come. Christine exits the courtroom into the rain. Janelle and Mary bring up the rear, subdued, contemplative. For the first time in years, the three of them walk beside one another, not as sister wives, but as survivors of something greater than themselves. Christine glances upward at the gray sky and whispers, "It's almost over." Janelle answers softly, "No, it's just beginning." The early morning light seeps in through the thin windows of the courtroom, lengthening shadows across weary faces. Yesterday's confusion clings to the air, a leftover of anger, betrayal, and sorrow. Christine sits quietly alongside her lawyer, shaking fingers pressed against a pile of papers. Robyn's chair is vacant. The judge sees, his forehead creasing, but he doesn't inquire. Everyone recognizes why she's not present. Whispers spread on the benches. Cameras pop at the rear as journalists whisper, "Robyn Brown, absent in court today." What does it mean? Christine blinks and slowly exhales. She recalls last night being by herself in her kitchen when the phone rang. Robyn, her voice soft, trembling. "Christine, I can't continue this anymore. You don't know what Cody is capable of when he's cornered." And then, click, nothing. Now, Christine can't help but replay those words. Cody finally arrives, dressed in a black suit that fails to cover the fatigue on his face. His erstwhile proud hair is disheveled, and there is a slouch in his shoulders. As he sits down, he shoots a glare at Christine. But she doesn't budge. She is beyond fear now. She is standing in truth even if it consumes her. The judge begins. "We'll continue with testimony regarding financial concealment and emotional misconduct." Christine's lawyer stands. "Your Honor, we'd like to call a witness, a former member of the Brown family's business management team." Cody's head snaps toward them. "What?" He mutters under his breath. A 40-something woman approaches, Marla Jensen, a name not many know but one that used to run every dollar of the Sister Wives franchise. She steps up to the stand and raises her right hand. Christine studies her intently. This is it, the moment where the truth starts to emerge. Marla's voice is calm. "I handled all the accounts of the joint family for almost 10 years. And I saw discrepancies. Money transferred from joint to personal accounts. Properties bought in different names." She looks at Cody. "And urgings from Mr. Brown not to ask any questions." Gasps pass through the courtroom. Cody's face turns red. "That's a lie!" he bellows. "I built this family. I worked every dime." But the judge silences him. "Mr. Brown, you'll have your turn." Christine's eyes shine, not with rage, but with tears. She recalls all those evenings groceries were in short supply, when she was instructed that the family could not get another home, when her children wore the same jacket for 3 winters, while Cody and Robyn were quietly purchasing new property in Arizona. Cody bangs his hand on the table. "You don't get the sacrifices I made. You guys think I'm the bad guy, but I did this for my family." The attorney takes a step forward. "For your family, Mr. Brown? Or for one wife in particular?" The silence is oppressive. Christine's eyes drop, attempting to conceal a tiny tear edging from her eye. She's waited years for this question. Cody avoids direct eye contact. His voice drops. "You wouldn't get it. You can't love 4 women the same. You have to find peace where you can." "Peace?" Christine whispers, and it's hard to hear her. "You said peace when you ignored our pain." The judge interrupts. "Mrs. Brown, please." But Christine stands up. She can't stay seated anymore. Her voice cracks. "He said I was lazy. He said my children, I was the cause of our family's breakdown. And all that time he was creating a new life with her. He never glanced back." Her words hang suspended in the air. The judge sighs, his pen still. Then out of nowhere, the door at the back of the courtroom creaks open. Heads turn. It's Robyn. She walks slowly down the aisle, sunglasses concealing her red, puffy eyes. She sits down beside Cody, but she doesn't reach for him. Her hands are tightly folded in her lap. Christine looks at her, half in shock, half in compassion. The attorney arranges his papers. "Mrs. Brown, you've decided to come today. Do you want to testify?" Cody mutters harshly. "Don't you dare." But Robyn's voice is peaceful. "I have to. The suspense is stifling." Cameras close in. Each breath is thunder. Robyn stands before the judge. I won't defend all the things Cody has done. But what I will say is, that's not the only thing he's done. We all have. We shared a roof, made commitments that could never be fulfilled. And now we're sitting here trying to piece together the rubble. Tears cascade down her face. For the first time, there's no game in her voice, only weariness. Cody stares at her in disbelief. You're betraying me. No, she whispers. You betrayed yourself. The room falls into stunned silence. Even Christine feels an ache in her chest. For all her anger, she never wanted this ending. To see a man unravel in front of the world. To see the family she once built reduced to paperwork and tears. The judge clears his throat. We'll adjourn for today. Both parties are advised to prepare closing arguments. As all stand, Cody closes his folder with a bang. He storms out of the courtroom, pushing past reporters calling out his name. Robyn lingers, looking once again toward Christine before following him out. Christine stays seated. Her lawyer leans over and whispers, We did well today. But she shakes her head. It's not about winning. It's about being free. The camera holds on her face, fatigued but determined. The faint murmur of reporters recedes as the screen goes black. Then, in voiceover, the narrator speaks quietly. In the war between pride and truth, one always cracks first. And for the Browns, the cracking point has only just started.